Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I'm going to be guiding you guys, hopefully, to 15 wins. So throughout all of these maps, the maps actually have came out early on Brawl Esports Twitter. Although it's not in game just yet, it will be, I believe, Saturday, starting Saturday, just as normal, 15 wins, and you'll be going through to the next stage, the monthly qualifiers, and then from there you can reach the monthly finals. So huge things at stake here. I'm really excited. This is the start of the competitive season, and as always, I'll bring you guys the best comps, the best strategies. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so moving on to the first map is a really nice and easy one, Super Stadium Brawl. So as always, as I say, every single time, I've not done one of these for like 6 months now, I believe, since the last 15 win challenge, but as I always say, the first one's going to be the easiest. So if you guys aren't comfortable with all the brawlers I've recommended, that graphic should have popped up a little while ago. You can just use your comfortable brawlers, because the people that you're going to be playing against aren't going to be the best. They're probably going to be random matchmaking, and this is always by far the easiest. So take what you're most comfortable with. But as you can see, what I've put on the screen, Jessie's actually still a really good mid. I thought she weren't going to be as meta, but Jessie's always been decent in Super Stadium, and at the moment there's brawlers like Jean that used to always be in like every single comp in Brawl as a mid, and B as well. B's gadget has been nerfed since. Jessie's actually really good and can still deal a lot of damage to help. You've got Sandy down the lane. Sandy's super is so good right now. You can use either star power. A lot of times I prefer heal, especially when you're using a more tankier option like BB or Nita. It just synergizes really well, or you can use the damage one to push the enemy team back. But it doesn't matter too much what sides you go on, whether you're a Nita, whether you're a Sandy, whether you're a BB. Those are really strong options. Ruff's also really good in the meta right now. It's kind of hard to actually decide whether I wanted to put him in or not, because in competitive, Ruff's is a really strong brawler. And of course, Amber is so good right now. Amber can be used as a mid, or Amber can be used as a lane. Ruff's again can be used as a lane or a mid. I'll probably prefer him down the lane, because mids like Jessie can just deal more damage than him, and Byron as well. But as you can see, free to play comps as well. I think these are really good. I would personally probably stick towards the Jessie and the Needs combination. Just such a good combination. BB's broken in the meta right now, but I won't spend too much time on the map one, to be honest. No point going really in depth in the strategies and whatnot. It's Brawl. This is the most popular 3v3 mode. You guys should know how to play this. So that's going to be Super Stadium map 1. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so now jumping into map 2, Dueling Beatles. This is Hot Zone's first appearance on the 15 win challenge, and also in competitive as well. So Hot Zone has been a mode that a lot of pros really didn't like towards the end of last year, but it's been growing on us slowly, and one of my favorite modes, to be honest, in Brawl Stars at the moment. But Dueling Beatles is a bit of a weird map, because there's only 3 choke points, as a lot of maps are, but these ones are really confined. So as you can see by the comps that I put on the screen, there's not a lot of variety with this map, unfortunately, in my opinion. Literally across every single scrimmer play, across ladder, what I've played, Jessie and Penny are insane. I put Jessie mid and Penny lane. You've just got so much turret spam. Even brawlers like Mortis, like Rosa, the really aggro combos can't really deal with the amount of spam that is put on the field, especially when you've got Penny's gadget that's able to put a bunch of cannibals all over the floor. Tanks just can't really run it into that. You've got Jessie with her slow. You can easily get kills with this. Jessie just is insane in this meta, and so is Penny on this map specifically. And then it's kind of up to you what you pick as a third if you've got most brawlers in the game. Most of the time I opt for Amber again, because you've got Amber's super that's able to take down turrets, well, at least help take down turrets. Amber just absolutely shreds anyone she gets her aim onto. The second you lock onto a brawler with Amber, there's no way they're going to be able to out DPS you. Amber just completely shreds them. It's insane. You've also got Sandy as well. His super just pushes a lot of people back. It enables you to get control. And Sandy can easily peek shot around these walls. It's so easy to constantly cycle his super over and over again. That's the main thing about Sandy. You've got to be making sure that when you're in your super, you've got to be cycling that super, because it just gets so much pressure. If you're a Sandy that throws a super and then dies, unfortunately, it's going to take you a long time to maybe get that super again and regain control. So this map is really hard to actually get back into the zone once the enemy team's got their turrets out. So one thing I definitely recommend is be playing a little bit cautious. Don't be too aggro. Try and play for your life, because if you do die, it's really hard to regain control against a bunch of turrets just shooting you across the map. But as you can see, about free to play comps as well, not really a lot of variety. I also like Tick on this map because you can spray across the lanes really easily. Throwers are really good. Barley's really good to take down the turrets as well. You've got BB for the pressure. You can also use the Byron double tank combination, which is really, really good. It does require a little bit of skill with Byron because you've got to be noticing who you want to be healing. But you've got the shield combination with BB and Rosa. Once BB's got her shield and Rosa's got her super with the shield, it's so hard to take down these brawlers. So as you can see, Hot Zone probably be a little bit of a messy one because of the map that it is, but it shouldn't be too hard because it's only map 2. The competition isn't going to be as strong. So that's map number 2. Let's hop into map number 3. Alright guys, so now jumping into map number 3, Hot Potatoes. So this map is a really fun one, especially if you're a good Rico, you can patrol the middle. But for this one specifically, again, I feel like BB just completely dominates. You really need a BB on your team. Luckily, BB's a brawler that I think everyone in the game must have her, to be honest. And if you're using a battle stance, star power, in combination with her gadget, it's so hard to actually kill her. Ever since they buffed BB, she's got a lot of HP now. And she's just such a good brawler. She can count on so many of the squishy brawlers like Rico, like Barley. And especially on these closed lanes, it's easy for BB to get a lot of value. So BB, to be honest, you can put on either lane everywhere, but in specific comps, I think she's better down the right because it's a more aggro lane. You can push forward with BB, and it actually forces a response from the enemy team. Even if you're not dealing a lot of damage, even if you're not actually hitting the brawlers, if you're just there and around the safe, the enemies have to try and pinch you out, and it just actually causes a big delay in time. And it can allow your teammates to actually push up. So your pressure as a BB is actually really, really important. One of the most important roles for sure. But now moving on to the support brawlers. My personal preference, I do like the Rico. Maybe a little bit biased, but I do love the Rico in the middle because you've got so many bounce opportunities. You can go over to the right, peek a lot of shots down the right, help the BB win her lane. You can go over to the left, help Amber win her lane, and you can just win the middle as well because of the bounce shot opportunities. Rico's just a solid option. And then Colonel Russ is actually the preferred choice in competitive because he's got the Rico abilities to bounce over the walls. You've also got Ruff's super to break open the map. If you have a really long range comp, you've also got the power-ups for Ruff, which is just insane, especially if you give that to an Amber, for example. She's just going to absolutely shred everyone, even more so, which is just crazy. So Ruff's is a really good pick on this map as well. And also, I do really like Max. Max is a really high win rate choice on the competitive side of things. But in terms of his skill cap, it actually is really hard to learn. And you have to have a good synergy with your teammates. So with Max, I synergize a lot with tanks. I do like a Daryl and BB with Max because once you got that max speed, you can cause so much pressure. It's so hard to hit people within a max super. And that allows Daryl and BB to easily get pressure and get a lot of damage on the safe. And then moving on to free-to-play comps. I do like the 8-bit in the middle. It's not too good in competitive anymore because you've got the likes of Amber that can take down 8-bit's turret. But 8-bit is a really solid option in the middle, especially if you put in your turret really defensively. Keeping that turret alive is really crucial for 8-bit because, as you guys probably know, 8-bit without his turret is so slow. He's such an easy target. You want to be keeping that turret alive for as long as possible. Then you've got a bunch of different options. You've got Colt that can break open the walls with the gadget, just allowing 8-bit to shred even more. You've got Barley, who's a really solid option. The only trouble is if a BB's on his lane, he's going to be standing no chance. So as you can see by the graphic, BB's basically in every single combo. You want to be using her. It's kind of personal preference on the rest of them, but Hot Potato is going to be a really fun one. Let's hop into map number 4. Right guys, so moving on to map number 4, and this is where things start to get a little bit tricky, and especially on Gem Grab Hard Drop Mine. This map used to be one of my favorite maps, but it's a really defensive map now, and it's the fact that a lot of people just tend to camp around their spawn. But as you can see by the graphic, literally 8-bit is in every single combo but one. 8-bit is insane in Gem Grab. He can play lane, he can play gem carrier, he can do everything, especially on this map. As I said, it's really defensive. He can place his turret in multiple positions. You've got the wall to the right. That's where most of the time I'll put my turret with 8-bit, and especially if you've got Byron as a combination. I've spoke about this before, but Byron gets a damage and a healing upgrade in effect. So you could just literally just unlimitedly shoot your 8-bit, and he's probably not going to die, especially if Byron's inside of that booster. He's going to be doing more damage, more healing, and 8-bit tanky, he's not going to get killed. There's no way he's going to get killed. So that's the cheesy option that a lot of people use on ladder. But in terms of competitive as well, you've got so many good options instead of Byron. You've also got Sprout, whose Sprout is insane in this meta. He's one of those brawlers that's better in competitive rather than ladder. and things like this, because he can get countered by really aggro brawlers, and that's what a lot of people like to go on a ladder. But Sprout is going to be winning basically every single lane. He can take down those turrets, he can shoot over the walls. Normally I send a Sprout down the left because he can basically shoot into mid. He could probably free tap a Baron, which is really crucial. But the thing about Sprout, you just not got to let people into your bush. You got to play it really passively and keep your distance as much as possible. And as you can see on the graphic as well, from back in the video, you've seen a Leon. Leon actually is insane on Hard Rock Mine. I would say it's his best map in the game at the moment. Down that right-hand lane, I've used him in scrims a lot, and I've probably literally lost once with Leon, and I've used him 10 plus times. He's crazy good right now with the Invisi-Heals star power. It's just really hard to keep tabs on him, especially if you can get into the grass and just be really, really annoying. You can just delay as much time as possible, allowing your teammates to help and pinch you. But you've also got Mr. P. Mr. P is just a solid option overall. You've got his new gadget, which can be really annoying to the enemy team. Mr. P counters Baron and 8-bit. You can use Mr. P to throw over the walls and destroy the 8-bit turrets to destroy the Barons. Mr. P is just a really solid option. It's not really much that counters Mr. P in the meta except for like Mortis, but you're not going to see too much Mortis in Gem Grab at the moment. And then moving on to free-to-play comps. So Piper is an amazing pick with 8-bit. You've got to think about it as like a Byron. If Piper is going to be inside of that damage booster, especially with the ambush star power, I believe she can do up to like 4k damage. And if you're using the homemade recipe gadget, you can just select that. It deals so much damage to literally anyone. You can one-shot an enemy Piper. You can basically half the health of an 8-bit with ambush and that booster. It's an insane combination. You guys should be using it for sure. But if you guys aren't too confident with that, you can use Jesse. You can maybe use Poco Double Tank. There's other options, but as you can see, 8-bit just by far the most dominant brawler, and then it's kind of up to you what you prefer on the lanes and those side of things. But yeah, use 8-bit and you're going to be having a good time. Let's hop into the final map. Right guys, so jumping into the fifth and final map, it's going to be Canal Grande. And this is one of my favorite bounty maps, but it can be really difficult for people that don't understand it in a sense. So my number one tip with Canal Grande, and I'm sure with most bounty maps, but this one in specifically, you just need to get control of that mid bush, because it's so easy to spawn trap enemies, and it's so easy to get spawn trap yourself. So that's going to be the number one tip. Try and focus as much as pinching people out the grass and gaining control of it. You don't need to be up in stars all of the time on this map, as long as you've got the control of the mid grass. But also jumping into the comps now, as you've seen by the comps not too long ago, you can see Sprout just dominating the bounty meta. Probably the best brawler in bounty, Sprout is, especially on this map. It's a really thrower dominant map. You can use Sprout to shoot across both lanes of the map. You've also got his photosynthesis star power that's going to be activated whilst in the grass in there. It's going to be basically a mini tank. He's going to deal so much damage. Sprout just a perfect brawler on this map. But the perfect combo for me, it's going to be Sprout, Tick, Mr. P. I send Tick down the solo lane because he can basically spray across the whole lane and keep them out. You've got Mr. P, who's just really annoying, especially against the likes of Piper. People like to use Piper on this map and like to use Brock. And if you're using the new Mr. P gadget, you can just activate it, throw it straight on a Piper or a Sprout or a Tick that we've got in our comp. Mr. P actually counters all of those brawlers, just because a Tick and a Sprout really hate brawlers that are really aggro and on top of them. So that Mr. P Porter is going to waste so much ammo. It's going to actually push the enemy team back. It's insane. That's why Mr. P is even more meta than before, because of the new gadget. And also brawlers like Piper, because it will literally take Piper like 3 ammo to actually take down that one single Porter. And especially if using ambush as well, Piper's going to be out of ammo, so it's just insane. So enough talking about Mr. P's gadget. You've also got a really interesting strategy that I've seen quite a lot on ladder. You've got the Byron, Sprout, Jackie, and I'm guessing that all you're going to do with Byron is just heal the heck out of your teammates. You've got Sprout with that shield, this Byron healing strategy with shield brawlers, people that have shields like BB, Rosa, Sprout. It's just insane because you're going to get even more value with the healing. You've also got Jackie as well, who's really good, especially if she's in the grass. She can hold her lane by herself. She also counters for likes of Tick, like the likes of Sprout, because really aggro brawlers, they don't deal well against, and Jackie's going to be even better. And then you've also got Colonel Ruffs as well. It's a bit of a new brawler in the meta, and a lot of people are about iffy about him. So maybe if you're not feeling too confident with him, probably keep him out, because it takes a little bit of time to get used to him. But if you're a good roughs, you're going to be throwing upgrades to your teammates, and it's going to be even easier for your teammates to win lane because of the upgrade. You get more HP, you get more damage. It's going to be even easier, as I said. But also moving on to the best free-to-play comps, you've got the Poco Double Tank that's always going to be good on Canal Grande. To be honest, you don't really see it too much in competitive because people have learned how to play against Poco Double Tank now, and especially now, brawlers like Tick have got a new gadget that actually helps you against aggro. You've got Tick's heads, you've got Tick's gadget. He's going to be insane against aggros now, and also just the amount of Mr. P's and Sprouts in the meta just counter long-range brawlers a bit too much. But if you're a free-to-play player, a Piper is still a decent option. But as you can see, probably I would opt for the Poco Double Tank. But that's going to be Canal Grande. As I said, make sure you're getting control of that mid-grass. It's so important. You don't want to be losing the mid-grass opportunities. And then once you've got the mid-grass on lockdown, you can just spawn trap the enemy team, let them come to you. It's going to be so easy to pick off kills, but that's going to be the final map. Right, guys, this is going to be the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed this one. I for sure enjoyed making it. It took me a long time to make the graphics and film and record this video, so let me know also down in the comment section below whether you want to see more in-depth videos on the 15 win challenge. I only briefly touched on a lot of things because I didn't want to bore you guys too much, and this was just more of a comp reveal so you guys can know the best comps. But if you want me to go more in strategy, let me know down in the comment section below and how you want me to do it, because as I said, I'm really interested in helping you guys try and get the 15 wins. And hopefully you guys will be able to achieve this with the help of me. So that's going to be the end. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.